Oh, baby, we are live. Let's hit that intro.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back.
Woo! We are back, baby. Jeff, how the hell you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and I am, like always, looking forward to this card. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here talking about fights again. I fucking love doing it. So we're going to do it again.
Here we go.
How about a recap from Big UFC 298? I think we had killer breakdowns on the show. Whether it was me or you, somebody had the fucking killer angle on it. Not only the angle, but the breakdown. But I wanted to give you a special shout out because breakdown of the week definitely went to Jeff. He said, and I quote, "Those medications could make him tired, could affect his cardio if it is a staph infection." And he researched the shit out of that. Researched the medicine, what he was taking. I was like, that's a great angle, Jeff. So that award goes to you for that week.
It's funny because I appreciate it, and it's funny. I was talking about it with a buddy of mine, and then all of a sudden I saw the after the fight, all of it coming out, and I'm like, literally was talking about this, and like you said, started doing the research. What's this do? What's this do? Where's the guys out? Makes me. And
I've never looked
yeah,
at that before, but if I see it, I'm gonna start looking up what the medications do because
yeah.
there
If
is
the
other
guy's
ones
sick,
I heard on from Daniel Cormier. He said, I was wrestling, and Chael Sonnen too. They said I was wrestling when I was younger, and if you talk to your doctor and say, listen, I got a fight in a week, there's different medications you can take that won't affect your cardio. But I guess it's either an excuse from him or not. We don't know, but we saw the staph infection. We saw his
the,
cardio fall apart. I mean,
the crazy part was he was saying it wasn't. I mean, I don't know if it was him or somebody posted the picture, and and somebody's like, oh no, or people on Twitter and whatnot, just articles and shows, and they're like, that's not staph, that's not staph, and I started looking up staph because I fortunately never had it
it
myself, so I
was.
started looking into it, and it's obviously very common amongst the mat and UFC and wrestling and all the the grappling sports ultimately, but yeah, and then I started looking up pictures of staph, and I'm like, that certainly is staph.
Yeah,
Obviously
it
I'm no
absolutely
doctor,
was.
but that
Sometimes
clearly
it's
was.
easy to see. But yeah, we'll go over these other ones quick. Jojo Wood versus Marina Moroz. We had Marina by decision. We cashed that one, but the judges fucking robbed us. As they
Horrible.
do. I
That
mean,
was
she came
horrible.
on strong in round 3. I mean, I don't think that she won round 1 and 2, so I mean, I guess you can see the 10-8. It's a knockdown round, but even that should be closer to a draw. But that's how these things go. 38-year-old gets the split decision. CJ Vergara, he didn't do as well as we hoped. He got wrestle fucked by Asu. Asu gets the decision. Rebellis to Spain. We said round 1 knockout. Not only round 1, but gone in 60 seconds. Smacked that one. Felipe Lins in that fucking match of the shitty dudes. You had to take the dog. He ends up coming through. Oh, man, that was a terrible fight, though, Jeff. Terrible fight.
It was.
Michelle Pereira gets the round 1 submission. That was fucking beautiful. Jeff was on him. Gave that out, minus 130. And I was on it with Jeff, too. I mentioned that on the show. And then later as the weekend, the fights went on, I chased down a dog. And then Kyler Phillips, he gets it done in professional performance with his 7-inch reach advantage. We did say it's going to be decision. Munoz still tough. Cash that one. RDA still hanging in there with Mateusz Gamrot. That was fucking great. Even though he lost, I think he showed a great account of himself. I think Mateusz is a bit of a bum, Jeff.
Yep. That was actually one of the official plays I had given out on last call was Gamrot by decision. So I was on that one pretty heavy.
Yeah, I don't like that guy. I'm going to be looking to fade
I
him.
don't either. I don't either, but
Got rocked by 38-year-old RDA. I mean, come on.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fantastic. And then he couldn't do anything. It was just really boring. But Caitlin Sermonera versus Macy Barber. Barber goes ahead and gets that decision for us. So Caitlin did put up a good performance too. That was actually a
She
good fight for the
certainly did.
women.
She
I'd say
certainly did.
both those women actually might have had fight of the night over some of these men on that card.
It's funny because I had commented again. Another official play I had given out there on Mike's show was Barber by decision, and which moved it to -105 from her -240 or whatever the hell she was. But she kept saying she was going to put her out. She was going to knock her out, choke her out. She was going to end the fight early, and I'm like, no, no way, no way.
Yeah, that's when you
But
had to flip. I was originally thinking around 2 or 3, but then when I heard her say it, I was like, mm.
yeah,
But yeah, I went with I took a dog shot on Caitlin Sermonera. Thought one of these female dogs could come through, but I picked the wrong one. Should have just stuck to the model, Jeff. Just bet the female underdogs when it's a close fight.
yep.
And then,
Yeah, I jumped on. Oh, I'm
sorry, go
sorry. Go
ahead.
ahead. No. Go ahead.
That's all good. I was just gonna carry on with the fights.
Yeah, I was gonna say I ended up I was on Curtis Blades as a dog. I got him at plus 120. I ended up jumping on Peter Yan. I took him -160. I was thinking KO. I was thinking possibly, I was thinking all kinds of different ways. The -160 wasn't a bad price, so I ended up jumping on that
Yeah,
one.
that was the way to
Um,
do it on him.
yeah, and I took Madalena. He was another one. I wanted him by KO. Everyone was talking about it. I'm like, I don't know. Gilbert Burns, he's in his what? He's 40, 41 years old. So
And
I was a
he's
little nervous.
38, but he's a Brazilian 38.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I ended up eating the juice at -160 on Madalena on that one. That one hit. I
Yeah, I was on
jumped
Burns, and that man that looked good until it didn't.
right so
No,
good until no,
a good
literally.
account of himself, though. People were screaming that he's washed, and I'm really like, I don't see it yet. Which performance was he washed? I don't get it.
I was on. I took Kevin Holland. Unfortunately,
Yeah, that was bad.
I
We're actually just gonna skip this one, Jeff.
I was nervous about fading MVP, but again, he hasn't been in the UFC, so I don't know. I guess I figured Holland would come with more. I said it last Saturday. I'll never fucking play Kevin Holland
Yeah,
again.
me and Dabs talked about this fight before, and he said to me, Kevin Holland is gonna sit there and fuck around, and you're gonna be screaming at the TV, seeing Kevin, what are you doing? And that's the way a Kevin Holland bet goes. So don't bet on
Yep.
Kevin, Dylan. But I was like, this guy's 38, and man, he fucking styled on him though.
I wasn't too I mean, I was obviously disappointed on the loss on that one, but I jumped back and you and I both, I think, we're on Poirier there, so he
Oh
came
yeah,
back in a
DDP
pretty big way, and
smash.
I jumped on him 4 units, so that I mean, I was already winning, and that just fucking
Yeah, like I
blew it off
said,
the top.
I was kind of scraping by there. We took like Curtis Blades, I bet on, or sorry, Jailton Almeida, and then I had to switch to Curtis Blades live. And then I took a shot on Song Yadong live when the fight was going one way. Then I had Gilbert Burns, and then I had Kevin Holland. So things were not going my way either. So I fucking quadrupled down on DDP. We got that done.
Oh, I was
And then
lighting up right along that whole all
oh
that
yeah, we were
stretch.
all there on the stream, and then we fucking took all our profits, smashed it onto Sean O'Malley, took a Dustin Poirier Sean O'Malley parlay to end the night. It was just an incredible turnaround at the end.
Yeah, and the other one I gave out was O'Malley. Well, the fight in general over 4.5 rounds. I figured it was going to go to decisions. I took that one as well,
Hell
-145,
yeah.
and that one cashed. And then I threw O'Malley because I didn't want to eat that 280 juice. I threw him in an open parlay, and then with two spots, and I closed it out the next day with like the Kings and somebody else, and ended up winning plus 300 on that one. So that worked out pretty well. Yeah, it was a profitable week, to
Hell
say the
yeah.
least.
Good times all around last week. That being said, we're going to jump into this card, and I'm personally going to keep it a little bit tighter since we did very well. I'm not going to go heavy on this UFC Vegas card. Not one bit.
No, it's funny. I always say I'm looking forward to the cards, and of course, I'm always looking forward to any fight card. But yeah, it was a there's some up and down spots here. I guess not necessarily sure how some of these are going to go, but
Yeah, I agree. That's actually the first fight of the night. I don't really know how this one's gonna go. We have Chad and Helliger on one side, plus 185 he opened at. Uh, plus 130 he dropped to, but it's saying plus 170 here again, so it might have dropped and then came back up. But Charalampos Gregoriou making his debut from Dana White's Contender Series, Jeff, minus 220, now minus 165. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna keep it tight here. This one's definitely a pass. Also, I have to fade Chad. Can't bet on him because he's from Calgary. So
yeah. I think Chad in this one, he took this fight on short notice. He's coming off back-to-back losses. I again with the Dana White Contender Series, I say that I don't like to play the guy coming off the Contender Series. I'm hit and miss. It really depends, but it is something that stands out to me week to week.
yeah,
Again, as we always talk about every week,
there's
Dana
so
gave a
many.
lot of contracts away. Um, you know, what the hell's his name? Gregario there. He like I said, he was originally supposed to fight who was it, Kazuma. And he's who was 0-2 in the UFC. But he ultimately was planning on taking a fight against a guy 0-2 in the UFC who in both his losses came by KO in the first round. So he was kind of a punching bag that he was expecting to take this fight against. Now you've got Enelgar here who's he's also a shitbag, but he's slightly better.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I think
leaning
he had his
Gregario.
moments, but I think he's getting older and time's slipping away from him.
Yeah, I'm on Gregario here, Gregario. Um, I'm again, I'm not playing him too heavy. I'm debating. I don't want to eat the juice on a guy like that. I know
Yeah, I would.
I saw a whole bunch of people on him by KO, but Chad's never been KO'd.
Chad
So
is. I'll give you one thing, man. The Canadians, they're fucking tough. You see him get rocked all the time. It happened in his last fight. He got fucking rocked, but he's a grinder, man. He will survive. I think this one goes the distance.
I agree. So I got Gregario by decision at plus 240 was what my book had. I say I got him. That's what I have written down. I'm probably going to end up getting there just from a value aspect, but I haven't obviously, as we always talk about, haven't played anything yet.
Yeah, I
But
don't know. I
I
might
think that's a
find a
pretty
way, but
solid spot. Uh,
if I
what,
was
what,
gonna play, I had written down. I think it's round 2 or 3 from Grigor. Like I said, if this guy survives, he could rock him too. And I just don't know his game. Maybe he could submit him once he has him on the ground. But I don't know enough about this guy.
no, and that's the thing too is there's so much unknown. Even trying to find look back and watch tape on the guy, it's hard to find anything
Yeah, I mean,
substantial.
I just don't think I can judge much from that tape.
No,
Is that
exactly.
even who
But
he is?
I do like that 2 and 3 round look. Like I said, I think it's going to end up going to decision. But what scared me on that was the books, the odds makers had it at over 1.5 was minus 205. So the fact that it's 1.5, that could be second round, it could be third round. But again, I think it's going to go to decision personally. And again, they're in Vegas, right? So we got the baby cage.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
baby
lot of
cage on our
clinching,
side.
a lot of wrestling, not a lot of area to move around. So I don't see either of these guys necessarily being over the top strikers. So yeah, like I said, I do think it's going to go over. Even the over 1.5 is not a bad play. It's just again with the juice minus 205. I don't know. Again, I don't. Let's see what's that now. I like to judge the book by the same book I looked at it on.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Oh, okay. So they shifted it from 1.5 at minus 205 to over 2.5, over under 2.5. So they shifted it up around. Both are minus 115. So it
Okay.
is looking like it's going to be over. And again, taking the fave, the line's moving towards him. He was minus 165. He's now minus 170. I like that
Yeah.
play. I'm probably going to end up on that one, but again, have made nothing official yet.
Yeah, he's at a good gym too. I can give him that. Longo and Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman stepping in there. I can't remember who was there before. Longo and Matt Serra, I think it was, and then Weidman started coaching there after his leg injury. But yeah, I think it's a great camp. I'd have to go with him on this one. But like I said, the only thing I'll give to my Canadian guy, even though he's from Calgary, Jeff, he is tough. They're still tough out there, tough ass Canadians. So I don't think he's going to get finished early. If it is, I think it has to be a submission, same as his last fight. Couldn't get knocked out. Had to get the round 3 submission to get the Canadian out of there.
Like I said, Chad's never been knocked out, as we just discussed. So yeah, I don't see it. Like I said,
I would favor that over 1.5. That's not bad at a pick'em price tag.
like I said, well, the over 1.5 was minus 205, and then it shifted to 2.5. So
Oh, to 2.5. Yeah, I would take 2.5. Yeah.
yeah.
I guess we'll just move on. Fight number 2. Thiago Moises versus Mitch Ramirez. This is another one where Ramirez is coming in not so much short notice, but not
What
early
was it?
notice, somewhere in the middle. It's supposed to be Brad Rydell, which, man, that would have been a great fucking fight. Find out which one goes to the top and which one is the gatekeeper. But instead, we'll have gatekeeper Thiago. What do you got, Jeff?
No, you know what? I'm on Moyes on this one. I was thinking him by decision. I again, the over 1.5 was minus 155. Or I'm sorry, no, I say decision. No, I like the over 1.5 at minus 155. I like him by submission at plus 115. I also was looking at the fight to Tiago in round 2 at plus 325 and round 3 at plus 400.
Yeah.
I do like those.
You know my style, Jeff.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
say inside
Well,
the distance, I say round 2 and 3.
As I start looking through, seeing who the favorite is, seeing where the total is, and trying to find a correlation between them. Tiago, he's only 6-5 in the UFC, but he's had some tough competition.
Yeah,
I
bring up the
just,
schedule here.
I don't know. I
If
thought
it
you were going to pull up who
load
he
for
fought
us.
against, but he's fought
He
against
fought
some
absolute
tough dudes.
killers at the top. I mean, he fought Islam Makhachev off the top of my head. Who else did he fight?
Yeah, I thought I had him written down, but that must have been another fight. But yeah,
That's the
no, it
only one I
was.
can remember.
It was some pretty stiff competition.
Load up. Here
No,
we
and
go. Here we go.
and Ramirez,
Benoit
he's
Saint Denis,
yep.
Joel Alvarez. He's got good fucking power. And then if it would stop fucking with me, Benil Dariush, another fucking top contender. So I mean, he tends to beat these guys that he's supposed to beat, and he loses who he's supposed to lose to. He's a very middling guy. Still
And
skilled though. And actually, I thought he was a lot older, Jeff. I was shocked to research this and look at 28.
Yep. Yep. No, he's on a track to do something, but again, I don't know. Again, maybe he's got to do something a little better. But you see his submissions right there. 40. What was that? 47%, almost 50% of his wins have been by submission.
Second
Ramirez,
row.
as you had mentioned, Ramirez took this fight on short notice. He's ranked number 1 in Utah. He's 8-1 as a pro. He got KO'd in the Dana White Contender Series, so that shows me that he wasn't necessarily ready for the UFC. He's another one that we've talked about that hangs around Vegas waiting for the call, and he got his call now, and he's going against a guy. I don't think he's biting off more than he can chew in this one personally. But Ramirez has never been subbed, and as I just mentioned, you see all those subs by Moises. So we'll see what happens. That's what scared me off of him by sub at the plus 115. But again, I do like him in round 2 and round 3 plus 325.
I think they're
plus
trying to
400.
send you one way, but he's a very good striker too.
No, I agree. The other play that I had written down was Moyes by inside the dish inside to win inside the distance minus 140. That's not again minimal juice, but doesn't matter if he knocks him out or subs him, as long as he gets it done inside the distance. I could see that happening. And again, with a correlation from the total at over 1.5 was minus 155. So, like I said, round 2, round 3, I think is the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, he always tends to beat these guys that he should. The last one was Melchizedek Costa. He got him out of there round 2 or 3. I had a bet on that. And then he goes up to competition, Benoit Saint Denis. round 2. And then if you go look at Mitch Ramirez, UFC stats, he's got an average fight time of 6 minutes, just over the first round mark. So that's what led me to Thiago round 2 or 3.
I like it.
Let's go to what's fight number 3 here. We have Corey McKenna and Jacqueline Amorim. One's actually a little bit more interesting when you look into it, because this line actually flipped. Jeff Amorim was the favorite at minus 140, and I think people are just remembering her performances. I don't know. She might be a little bit better than people give her credit for. And Corey McKenna, year layoff. She's really nothing special. I think this one goes the distance. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm on. Amorim, she's got that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style fighting, and she trains with American Top Team, which I like. But she went 4-0 in the LFA, but once she jumped into the UFC, she's now 1-1. She faces that stiffer competition with in the big boy league. So I don't know. I don't think McKenna's all that necessarily, but she's obviously young and up and coming. She's 3-1 in the
What up, G?
UFC. She's what up, G? So I like McKenna. Straight up, I don't think the minus 135 is that well. What my book had it at, I don't know what it has it at now, but I don't think that's a bad play. Just to take her straight up to win. She was minus 135. She's now at minus 180 on the same book that I originally looked at this on. So she jumped significantly. What was that, 45 points or so? The over 2.5 is minus 190. I'm gonna probably get on McKenna by decision. My book was given that at plus 130.
Yeah, okay. Is it flipped again? Did it go back?
I think and I guess to further on that point, I think McKenna's the better grappler out of the two of them. And then again, you got the smaller cage, so I think she's going to try to smother her, and I think McKenna's going to end up on top most of the fight, and impress the judges enough to get a decision, whether it's unanimous or a split. Who knows? We'll see, but I think McKenna's going to get it done regardless. Which again is why I liked her at the minus 135, but it shot to minus 180, so. Significant money coming in on McKenna. And again, I'm giving these prices off of my shit book, but it's the same prices in comparison. So
I'm seeing a lot of movement here when I look at opening odds. It was minus 160 for Jacqueline, which I had written down, and then minus 140 I found from a reporter, and then plus 120. Books had her as high as plus 145 with Corey McKenna at minus 170. And then back down to plus 120 and minus 150 again. So there was some strange up and down line movement. People can't decide here. I think they're just taking whichever one has the plus money on it.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like it anyways. I'm not, I wouldn't bet the farm on this one, but again, I'm going to be on McKenna here, but I certainly wouldn't go heavy. I wouldn't double and triple units up, which I have been known to do.
It's crazy, yeah. I was originally leaning towards Corey too, and I might just stick with my early lean, my guts, and go with her by decision. But shitty fight might also pass. Haven't made a decision just yet.
Now I'm gonna see where the line ends up. If that line shoots back to to McKenna down to minus 135, 130, I'll certainly be more enticed to take it. I don't like her at minus 180 necessarily, which again is where my book's giving it out now. But
I would look somewhere else or wait, because I'm seeing that it's moved down to minus 150 on some books.
Yeah, and I got 3 books or 4 books that I'm shopping around on, so I certainly will. But again, if I end up having to take a play on this one at minus 180, I certainly won't do it. But I will do McKenna by decision at plus 130. I do like that.
Fair. All right, let's move on then. Fight number 4. Another Dana White's Contender Series debutant in Danny Silva. He was plus 205, plus 150 now I'm seeing. And Josh Kulabau minus 240 opening, minus 180 now. What do you got, Jeff? You want to open this one?
Sure. Kulabau, he's what 11-2-1 as a pro. He's a jiu-jitsu style fighter. He's ranked 35 nationally. 5 KOs, 5 decision wins. He's 3-2-1, and I've noticed that a lot about a lot of these fighters is they've got pretty substantial records. He's 11-2-1 as a pro, but he's 3-2-1 once he jumped into the UFC. He's coming off a unanimous decision loss. However, he was fighting Murphy. Was that last July? And Murphy's 12-0-1, so he's undefeated. So he lost a unanimous decision to a tough fighter, but I don't know. Silva, he's ranked 20 in the U.S. West. Another guy that's regionally ranked, not nationally ranked. Again, as we talk about the Contender Series fighters coming in, he's 8-1 as a pro, but he hasn't really been challenged, in my opinion. So I think this is going to be another one that's going to be up against the cage on the ground. The over 2.5 was minus 195. I think from a correlation perspective. I didn't want to take Kulabau on the money line at minus 190. I don't know where it's at now, but I like Kulabau by decision. I think this is going to be a slow starting card, which I was laughing because as I was looking through after doing all my cap, I started looking through and I'm like, man, I got the first 3 or 4 fights all by decision. Is that
Yeah,
feasible? But I do see it happening,
it's not crazy.
unfortunately. But yeah, I like Kulabau by decision. I saw that at plus 160. So I didn't want to take a minus 190 on the money line. I do think he's going to win. But again, I didn't want to eat that juice. So Kulabau
Yeah,
by
it's moved,
decision plus 160 is what I'm leaning.
yeah, it's moved to minus 190 now. And I don't know. When I look at this, obviously the Dana White's contender debutant, I don't think we can trust him, obviously. And Josh Kulabau, he's a grinder, man. He's going to be tough, hard to knock out. I mean, this guy's a boxer. He's going to need to knock him out to win, I think. And
Agreed.
I'm not sure he's ready for this again.
Yeah, I don't think he's yeah, I think he another one that bit off more than he can chew on this one. And I, you can't blame these guys. They're taking their shot. You get the call from Dana. You're coming in. Scroll back up there. You see he's never been knocked out. He's got
Never know.
knockout power, but
5
I don't.
KOs, 1 decision loss, and it was a split. So
But again, I guess what stood out to me was he is a stand up fighter. He doesn't have any submissions.
yeah,
You know,
like it says his
he,
foundation style is boxing. I'm not sure that he has anything else.
well, exactly. And I guess, and on that note, again, small cage. There's not a lot of room to dance and maneuver. I think it's going to be pushed up against the cage. I think Kulabau is going to take him down, get up, take him down, get up. A lot of cage
Yeah,
fighting, a lot of ass slapping, and ultimately, I think it's gonna end up going over. Which again, didn't like the 2.5 at minus 195. So I'm on Kulabau by decision. I'm leaning that, and I'll probably end up to that. Actually, might be one of my official plays.
yeah, I'd have to go with that too. I just had written that he's a grinder, so I think he's gonna grind on him, like you said. This boxer, I just don't like a boxer in the UFC. You see these guys just not do well in boxing when the MMA guys go over there. A boxer coming into the MMA, it's the same thing. Just can't
Well,
see it.
you start throwing those light kicks, all of a sudden you start throwing in the submission attempts and things like that. There you go, G. I like it. I don't
Hell
know if
yeah,
you were
G.
listening. I don't
Hell
know if you were
yeah.
listening to me, G, but I was just saying that. Yeah, I like it.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. Triple agree. Sounds like a smash spot, boys. I always like it, when we agree and then G comes in the chat and just confirms everything we're saying and he's on it too. It's like, all right, there's the trifecta, boys.
Yeah.
There's the boys working together. Love it. Bringing up the next fight here. It's Jafel Filio versus Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne's going to have 7 or 8 inch reach advantage, as he always does. Big, long striker versus the grappler in Jafel Filio. We saw Jafel Filio, was it his last time outs against Muhammad Mahayev? Had a really good fight against him. Almost finished him in the 3rd fucking round. So we know that he's got cardio. He grinds. Ode, on the other hand, he's been finished a lot. Jeff, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, that's actually something that I had written down was well, Fiello is he's again another one 500 1-1 coming into the UFC, but his only loss was by rear naked choke in the third round to Muhammad. So I mean he withstood withstood the wrestling, withstood the fight against an experienced fighter.
You
So
almost had
I
him
think he's
submitted
tough.
before that. You had him in that fucking leg lock, if you
Yep,
remember.
yep, yep. I
Fucking
do,
his leg
I
was
do.
like the
I
letter
actually
U.
I watched that one back specifically. But he's got 5 KOs and 9 subs as a pro, so he's a well-rounded fighter. He's never been he's another one never been KO'd. He's been sub 2 times, but I don't know. I think Osborne, he's again another one 4-4 in the UFC. So he's nothing special either. I think Fallow gets by submission. I broke that down at plus 140, and then
Yeah.
I like the under 2.5 at minus 185. So again, I didn't like necessarily the price on that one, but I think if he gets them finished in round 1 or 2, it's 450 and or plus 200 and plus 450, and then Philip round 1 submission is plus 350 as well. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards the submission too. I don't know if the KO is viable as, with the reach advantage. I don't know if he's going to get in there. Maybe ground and pound. I could see that. But it's actually only 5 inches here. So Jafel Filio is not the worst on the reach. But what I know about these stats is the guy with the reach advantage, usually he wins when it's 6 to 7 inches. But in a case where it's 5, the fighter that actually is able to get inside of those strikes tends to win that fight a lot more than the guy with the reach advantage. So I think when he does get inside, he's going to take this guy down. But it could be a good live bet spot too. Because if he defends the takedowns, I'll probably be jumping on Ode. Because he is long, long legs, hard to take down. We've seen that a lot before too. So if he can't get him down, we may place a live bet. But as of now, I'm on Jafel Filio, and I like the round 2 or round 3. Don't hate round 1 either, but
I like that round 1 subs, at plus 350 for the money aspect of it. But again, just the fight to end in round 1 was plus 200, and round 2 was plus 450. So I think those are some pretty good spots. Again, from a correlation from the odds makers, putting it at minus 2.5 is minus 185. I think it's a smart play. I see this one ending
yeah.
inside the distance. I didn't write that down. I don't think I had a line on that one at that point, but it's a
Let's
good look.
see. Yeah, the over 1.5 is minus 125. Pretty pick 'em there. But they're actually favoring the under 2.5 at minus 190, like you said there. So, yeah, somewhere I think Ode gets fucked on the ground. That's what I think.
Oh, in fact, the
Elio sub is plus 175. That's not bad.
I my book had the under 2.5 at minus 185. It's now 190, so
Yeah.
it's favoring the
I,
under
s-
2.5.
I saw minus 188, but I just round up to 190.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Jafel, striker versus grappler. Grappler gets it done here, probably by sub 2-3. Jeff likes round 1. Let's fucking go. Mike Davis, Beast Boy versus Natan Levy. I don't like this one at all. I really don't. I hear a lot of people just screaming Mike Davis at minus 300. And I'm like, I'm not so sure I'm ready to get there here.
I
Not
am
sure at all.
Davis, he's got a 3 inch height advantage, but he's only got the half-inch reach advantage. I don't think that's going to play much of a factor, but both guys haven't fought in over a year, so there's no real advantage there. Davis, he's got a favorable record as 3-1 in the UFC specifically, but he's got 7 KO wins. He's in his professional career at 10-2. Um, he's got 7 KO wins and he's never been KO'd. So I don't know that Levy, he's what 8-1. He's also never been KO'd. I I don't necessarily like this one either. I certainly don't want to take Davis at minus 325. I so I'm either thinking it's going to be Davis by decision, which was plus 135, or if Davis can get the KO, Davis by KO at plus 175. So, but again, I'm back and forth on this one. I don't know what I like Davis to win it, but Davis, he was minus 325. He's now minus 515 on my book.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But the over 2.5 for such a huge favorite, he's still minus 200. That hasn't budged. Over 2.5 minus 200. I think I'm actually going to take Davis by decision at plus 135. I think that's probably the smart play. Neither guy's been KO'd. I think Levy's been submitted, but I guess I don't know that offhand. But
Yeah,
no, you don't
I
think he's getting
honestly,
a
I think
decision?
this one was like a dog or pass just because of the price tag, but I don't like the dog at all, so it's an immediate pass.
Yeah, no, I like I said, from a way to play it to get some decent ROI. I think Davis by decision or Davis by KO. I'm probably again just with correlation with the odds makers on the total. I'm probably gonna end up Davis by decision at plus 135.
Yeah, I think this guy's probably tough too. That's the way I would go. That's really it. I mean, it has to be on points if you want to get greasy and value. Take a finish by Mike Davis. So yeah, I don't know. I think they both have decent gas tanks, but he is the bigger guy. So maybe if he does swing wild, maybe Natan Levy does come on. This might just be another one we watch live and see if we can catch something. If catch something, great. If we can't, next fight. You know.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, this is definitely one of the greasier ones. Not my favorites. This next one though, I think is a great fucking matchup. Even though they're old, GM3 Gerald Mearshart versus Brian Bam Bam Barberena. Kind of like Brian here. I'm never going to take him at minus 225. Can't do that. I think it's an even fight. It's at middleweight. Brian Barberena, he's moving up, but he's also at the MMA lab where, we like those guys over there. Killcliff FC, not my favorite gym. And then Gerald's the older fighter, too. Everyone's talking about Bam Bam's old and he can't figure his shit out. And I see that too. He cuts a lot of weight. He moved around. Maybe his body is starting to fail him after all these years of heavy weight cuts. And that's why he's going up to 185. But I think we got to take the dog here, Jeff. What do you think?
I'm actually on the other side. I'm on Mearshart here, and I don't necessarily like taking the older fight. Not that the older
I
or
mean, it's
not. I mean, these guys
36
are.
versus 34, and it's
It,
34 in 10 months. Like, he's basically
it's comparable.
35. Yeah.
The reach for Mearshart stood out to me. What's he got? 5.5, almost 6 inches.
Yeah.
He's both fighters are certainly experienced, but he's what 35 and 17 as a pro, so he's clearly
Gets
got the
finished a lot, dude. With the
yeah. See,
power of Brian at plus 175, I have to.
he's got 27 wins, 8 losses, and 6 by KO. I mean, he's out there killing it. I think Barberena, he's a what 18 and 11, so he's as a pro, they're both Mearshart's 10 and 9 in the UFC. Barberena's 9 and 9, so I mean they're both right around the 500 mark. But Barberena's on a 3-fight losing streak. He needs this one, in my
Gerald
opinion.
Mearshart's on a 4-fight losing streak.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but Mearshart needs this one a little bit more. I don't know if Mearshart, he might be on his way out anyways, but just from a aging factor and the fact that he's fought 52 fights or something like that in his career. But I'm leaning Mearshart on this one. I like Mearshart by submission at plus 100. Sub in round 1 or 2. Sub in round 1 was plus 300. Sub in round 2 was plus 400.
Okay. I'm
Fight
with it.
fight goes the distance. No, at minus 175. Under 2.5 at minus 155. I like those plays. But again,
That's what
I'm on
G said
Mearshart by
too.
submission. So a couple of different looks. Oh, G's on it too. I
Hell
like it.
yeah.
Round 2 or 3. I didn't take the third. I didn't write the third down. But
That's kind of where I was thinking to 2 or 3 if we wanted to meet in the middle. You can take both sides at plus 335 in round 2 and round 3 at plus 600. So I do think they survive after round 1.
yeah, I agree.
But
Like I
yeah, I
said,
don't know.
I got the
Gerald
round
definitely
one.
wins, man. If he gets the takedowns going, and avoids the knockout, he absolutely wins.
Yep.
So Brian, maybe if he defends, he's not the best at defending takedowns, but he doesn't stop. And GM3 is not really that grindier wrestler. He's looking, to switch his positions to the submission, like the position before submission type guy. He doesn't flail, he doesn't go crazy. He finds his spots, and I don't know if he can't get it. He's not really a ground control time guy. So Brian, I think, could get a ground and pound if he doesn't get that sub. But
This
yeah,
this is one of those guy off a 3-fight losing streak, guy off a 4-fight losing streak. They got to fight to the death. Loser has to retire.
that's
And
exactly
actually,
what it is.
yeah, I was going to say, I actually might be the case.
I think it actually is in this fight. I'm pretty sure that's the whole breakdown. Two old guys, which one's actually done? I favor the guy that's maybe his chin's not cracked yet. Fuck, maybe it is, Jeff.
Yeah, it probably is.
Let's
Nah,
see.
Mearshart
I know
likes
he's
to
been
end his
for
fights early, and I
15.
think two of his losses came to Joe Pfeiffer, who
Oh, he hasn't been knocked out in a while, actually. Not since 2019. That's good.
he's got that going for him.
GM3 got knocked out. Actually, all chokes. Not knocked out for a long time either. Since 2020. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2020. It was Hamza. That's what I thought. Right cross, 17 seconds.
Yeah,
Oh, there it was. I knew it was recent. Joe Pfeiffer. That's the one. 2023. So he has been knocked out more recently than Brian Barberena.
that's what I was saying. He's got 2 losses to Pfeiffer himself.
Yeah. I'm on Bam Bam. And we'll get back. I'll tie that in later. Fuck, am I frozen again? God damn it. Be
I
right
can
back,
hear
Jeff.
you. Yeah, you're all good. Gee, I don't know if you're still in the chat here, but I do like that Davis play. I'm actually going to loop him into a bunch of different parlays as well. I do think again, as you said, he's got more power and he's more well-rounded. So he will make his way into a couple of different parlays. I like to throw a whole bunch of parlays out there, especially for some of these UFC events. Just different outcomes, different methods of victory, and different rounds, things like that. So I will certainly he will be making his way into a couple of different parlays, but I'm not going to take him on that hefty price.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot for some plus money parlays for sure, too.
Yeah,
Find some props to slap together. That's what I need to do on this card. But yeah, Bam Bam, as I was saying, and we're going to get back to a parlay with him later, too. Just for funsies, if you will. But moving on, we'll have Panny, Kianzad at plus 155 opening. She's now plus 175. And Macy Chazone minus 225, minus 180. Jeff, this is again the rematch that absolutely nobody asked for,
nobody
except for
wanted.
maybe Panny Kianzad. She wanted the revenge. It's from The Ultimate Fighter. Both these girls were on
Yep.
that. And yeah, Panny wants a little bit of a revenge from a round 1 sub. I think
I
Macy
don't.
Chazone still gets it done.
I don't. I'm sure she's brushed up after that on her grappling, but I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot on this one. We all saw what happened. Well, most of us saw what happened in that first one. I don't know. 14 of the last 15 fights went to decision. I think
Oh
she's.
yeah, she's
I'm on Chasey on by decision plus 105
yeah.
again
Goes
from
back to the rematch theory. First fight ended. This one's probably not going to play out the same as the first one.
Gee, straight up, dude, you literally nail on the head. I just said I got nothing really to say. We all saw it. It is
G,
what it is. Agreed.
G's going to wrap it up here for us.
Next
Chase
fight.
on by decision. Next fight. I respect it, G.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, and you can get her at plus. Well, on my book, I'm sure you can probably get it better on DraftKings or somewhere else. But plus 105. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah, that's the play, really. I'm not going to be betting on Panny. Macy Chiazon, she's an
I'll
up and
actually
comer.
probably.
She's also got a 6-inch reach advantage. I think that's the only thing I need to mention here. More takedowns. They're equal on the defense and striking, but she actually puts up more numbers. So
I'll
higher
probably be outside.
outputs.
I'll probably be outside smoking during that fight.
Yeah, that's really. I have the shortest breakdown on written down. I have 6-inch reach advantage, more
Yep.
takedowns, equal defense, better striking, 17 decisions for Panny, rematch theory, Shazon by decision. I really wrote it that short, so
Yes,
no
same here.
problem rolling right along. This one's actually going to be a really good fight too. We have Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dalgarian. Excited for this one.
I'm
You want
actually
to
I'm looking forward to this one.
start us off here, Jeff?
I you know I guess I'll start you off with where I'm at. I think Rodriguez is going to win this one, but I think it's going to be by decision, which ended up at a plus 300 on my book. I don't have it currently now, but I think I don't know. He's 6-0. It's his first Bulgarian's first. What he was ranked 72nd overall. He's 6-0. He won his first fight in round one by KO against Francis Marshall. But I don't know. I don't think either of these guys are going to get finished. I think it's actually going to be. I think it's going to be a bit of a slow start. I don't know. Like I said, I have written down here. It should be a good fight. Neither guy has been finished. I don't know. I'm leaning Rodriguez, like I said, for the plus money. But then again, I do see
Excuse me.
the over was half was minus 120. The under 2.5 was minus 110. So it's pretty favorable for the over or under, or it's pretty comparable for the over or under. So it could go either way. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't see either guy getting finished in this one. It's going to be. I think it's again against a bunch of up against the cage. I'm leaning Rodriguez by decision at plus 300 on this one. So we'll see what happens. What are you thinking?
I would like Isaac Dalgarian. Just a good prospect I like since the beginning. I think he's got good all around skills everywhere. I really do. The problem is that we don't know yet how far it's going to go with him.
No, I agree. And gee, straight up. And I like Rodriguez in this one. Just I could see it going either way. Whether I think Rodriguez is going to get it as the dog as well, but I'm not sure if it's going to be decision or if it's going to be somehow finish him. But like I said, I don't think either guy's been finished. So we'll see
I
what
don't know
happens.
why my camera wants to keep freezing. It's
You're all
unreal.
good. If you got to restart, you're good. I'll fucking rattle my mouth off. You know
Be
that.
right back.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I do. Gee, I completely agree with you. I think Rodriguez has more power, and I haven't seen a lot of tape on him either. So I'll probably end up going back and watching that between tonight and tomorrow just to see ultimately what I think about his specific fighting style. But I don't know much about either of these two guys, and it seemed, Dylan, now that you're back, it seemed like a lot of these fights, or a good chunk of these fights, are more just fill the card. Let's get some guys out there to fill the card, which
Yeah,
scares me
I mean,
about
that's
these.
really what they're doing. They got, remember when we used to watch UFC? It was actually a little more special back in the day. They didn't have fight nights every single week. You were lucky if you got two a month. So it was like something to look forward to. And, there was like hype
Exactly.
behind it because you waited for these big pay-per-views. And yeah, now we're doing, the Fight Lounge has been here. It's going to be 11 weeks in a row. And then the
Yep.
staff get 1 week off and then they're right back at it for another 8 weeks in a row. And it's because of the ESPN sponsorships. They sold the product to them. So now they said, you have a contract with us. We need fights. You sold us something. ESPN paid for it. So now they got a fucking watered down product a little bit because of it. And how do they get more people, Jeff? With another show, Dana White's
What
Contender
contender
Series.
series? Yeah, on a positive, and I agree, they are watering down the sport. However, on a positive note, though, we're getting some of these other promotions, getting more publicity, whether it be the one championship or, obviously Bellator and fighting warriors or cage warriors. You got LFAs, regionally stepping in there. So I like it because it's growing the sport, but it's also,
Oh, it's great then like a matchup like this, you look at it and you're like, which one of these contenders, is better? Who gets to the top? That's great. I love that.
yeah. And you know what? End of the day, you're not going to have a guy that's 20-2 not everybody can be 20-2 or 20-1. You got to have some
Very
of those
rare.
bags. And that's why actually one of the things that I was bringing up with a lot of these guys are they're 500, 10-9, 9-9, 8-8, 4-4. And it's like, hey, it's tougher competition.
Yes, depends on the guy, but most of the time,
Yeah, I agree.
I
Yeah.
don't hate
Well,
it.
there's the special ones, but
Yeah, so like Michael Johnson's a good example. Still around in the UFC after losing a whole bunch. He won half of those fights and he put on a good performance every time. So,
that's what it comes down to.
what else do we have on this one here? He's 8-0 fighting out of the Midwest Choppa. Um, Factory X Muay Thai. He does train at Elevation there, so that is a good advantage. Like we're kind of questioning if he has the cardio or not. He does train Factory X where they do train at Elevation and kind of run cardio over there. And then Christian Rodriguez on the other side, he's moving up from 135 to 145 pounds for this fight. So we don't know if his cardio is going to hold up with that extra weight. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of questions here. It's
Should be a
funny that
good
he's
one.
the favorites. If you look at, can't judge Tapology, take it with a grain of salt for sure. But Bulgarian's not favored at all. Most of the general public likes C-Rod, even though Bulgarian is a minus 200 almost now. So that's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. But yeah, I might I might just watch this one live and try to attack it that way and see what we actually got after 2 or 3 minutes.
Not a bad play. My line moved from Rodriguez plus 150 to Rodriguez plus 175. So the public is on the opposite side of me on that one. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't finalized anything yet. I'm going to take a look further, watch a little more tape between tonight and tomorrow, and probably more tomorrow, not tonight, but
I
see where we end up.
actually missed this one, number 6. We skipped it.
I thought you missed one.
I knew I did too. I had that feeling. As I said, I do have one bet locked in already, and it's Chelsea Chandler, right here. This is a bigger girl. She fought at 145. It's not a. She was at featherweight too, but she's been at bantamweight for some of her fights. She's just a bigger girl overall. She's gonna have a little bit of a reach. 6 inches taller. Stockton, California, training with Nate Diaz and the boys there. And Josiane Nunez, she doesn't have good striking. If she fucking throws those looping hooks, I guarantee you Chandler can get around that. She's a little bit better than I think people are giving her credit for. People are giving too much credit to Josiane Nunez. Be
Nunez
right
though.
back again. Fuck.
You're all good. I don't know if you can hear me as I'm rattling away here, but Nunez fights out of Striker House. She's got pretty good striking. I actually think she's shorter and she has that more compact punch, more direct to it. But to your point, she does throw the loopy shots. So I don't know. She's got 7 KOs in her career.
It works in the female division. Those looping hooks, they catch sometimes.
It does. I mean, her last 2 fights went to decision, but her first UFC win was by KO, and it was in the first round. So I don't know, making her 3-0 in the UFC. All of her KOs came within the first and second round. So it's not like she's waiting for these girls to get gassed before she's actually
No,
getting
if
out.
it goes further, it's terrible. And I mean, the girls
Yeah,
she
exactly.
fought, Ramona Pasquale and Zara Farron, very low level competition. I mean, I definitely think Chelsea Chandler's a little bit better than all these girls that she's fought. Bia Malecki, that's how she fucking won with that overhand right. I mean, yeah. She would have crushed them too. Chandler
Yeah.
ITD, let's go.
So I'm leaning Nunez here, money line, just again because it's not that bad at minus 150. Her in round 1 or 2, just again because of the KOs in round 1 or 2, was plus 500, plus 600. Chandler's never been KO'd, so that scares me a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to play this one necessarily. Again, I could see it going either way. Well, you had said you didn't like the striking on Nunez, but like I said, she's out of Striker House, and she got 7 KOs, so there's not a lot of women out there that have that many KOs. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
She
just
could
think
get
once
caught.
she got to even like mid-level competition in the UFC, she wasn't able to do it. And
I agree.
Chelsea
That like
Chandler
it's
at 5-2, she might be a little bit disrespected here. I mean, she fought Norma Dumont. I think Norma Dumont's better than any opponent. Obviously, she's fought Norma Dumont would fucking absolutely roll through Josia Nunez. And then Julia Stanko, she fucking sucks, okay? But she did what she had to do. She got that round one finish over an opponent that sucks.
you
So
know. In all fairness, she lost to Dumont by unanimous decision. So she got. I mean, she
yeah, I'm not saying she did well, but she couldn't get finished either. So I don't know if Josie needs
agreed.
someone to
Agreed.
finish her. I think decision maybe or inside the distance, but at plus money, I'm just gonna go. Don't have to decide. I'm just gonna do Chandler money line.
I'm not in disagreement. I'm just not in agreement.
Back to
I'm
the
up in the
well,
air on that one.
I get it, but for me, just a female dog. Really,
Yeah, yeah. Especially like you said in the close one.
I have to take the dog. We'll see though. All right, let's get back on the right track. Kennedy and Nzechukwu. You like that one?
I'm gonna call him Kennedy.
Say it, Jeff. Say Nzechukwu.
Enzuchukwu.
There you go. Let's
The
go.
Wachuchus are biters.
No,
Oh,
I
you're
like
frozen.
him a lot. I think he's a really good fighter here. I think Ovin St. Preux on the other side, not very good anymore. I mean, classic 40-year-old fighter here, Jeff. Literally hit the 4-0. Don't like that. KO losses recently, if this would help.
I think you're frozen.
Felipe Lins, who we saw. Uh,
Am I frozen or are you frozen? Somebody's
probably
frozen.
me. Probably me. I'll just tell you
Kennedy's
what
he's
I'll reset after.
Kennedy's got the slight height and reach advantage, which I don't think is going to make much of a difference in this one. But he's ranked 19. He's a huge he's a huge fave in this one. He's 12-4 as a pro. 10 of those fights, 10 of those 12 have ended by KO. He's coming off a first round KO by Dustin Jacoby here. So we'll see what happens. But as Dylan had mentioned, St. Preux, he's 40. He's another one, which I always say they fall into that trap at the 40 year mark where it's win one, lose one, win one, lose one. I I'm on Kennedy by KO, which I didn't like because it was minus 250, and I don't like taking a method specific with that much juice. So I'm leaning Kennedy by KO at minus 250. I'm probably not going to take that just because the juice is so high on it. But the odds makers had the 1.5 rounds under 1.5 rounds, minus 150. So I'm thinking Kennedy round one at plus 115, Kennedy round two plus 225. Kennedy's, he has 8 KOs, one sub, 3 decisions. Most of his fights end up under, but
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy KO in round one was plus 145, and Kennedy KO in round two is plus 315. So um, if you take him by KO in round one or round two, obviously the price is a little better. But if you take him to win straight up in round one or two, you're getting plus 115, plus 225. So um, I don't know. I look for it, Dylan. I don't know if you were on the stream with Mike and I last week, but I I said if somebody was retiring, and I was like, "Could you bet that? Could you bet somebody retired?" And I actually looked for it. I think if St. Preux loses this fight, he might retire. And
Yeah, I
for the
agree.
record, I looked at 3 books and I didn't see a line.
Yeah,
I,
G said he shouldn't be here. I agree. I mean, knocked out 3 of his last 4 fights. This sounds and feels like he might be under contract still, and he's
yep.
gonna get his last fucking paycheck because I heard this narrative on another podcast. It was he's 40 years old, obviously, but they're looking to get rid of some people to bring in these Dana White's Contender Series guys and new people. They also have to make a change to the roster. And Ovince St. Preux, he was a star back in the day. You know, he was up there, so he might have a good contract. Where the UFC is paying this guy maybe $100,000 or so with a locked-in contract. So they definitely want to get rid of him. They're giving the new guy a very promotable spot here to get a name over an old legend, and he has to come out in dominant performance to get it. If he gets a decision here, it's like, oh, you fucking decision 40-year-old OSP, but get a KO, and then you got hype behind you, blah blah blah. That's what the UFC marketing machine wants. That's what Kennedy wants. So I agree with you boys. It has to be the KO for him. Probably round 1 or 2.
Agreed.
It's very public, and that always scares me. But there's some plays that,
Uh,
of course, the public would be on. There's no other way. Like, what are we fucking crazy here?
So Dylan, I completely agree with you. There's a lot of public plays that scare me. That
Like
happens more.
everybody and their mother was on Robellis to Spain round 1 last weekend.
Well,
That
and,
didn't
and that's the
scare
thing.
me.
I think it depends on the sport, in my opinion. If everyone's on a hockey play or everyone's on a basketball play, that's one thing. But when everyone's on a fighting play, that doesn't scare. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but it doesn't necessarily scare me. Better
No,
fighters, better fighter. I guess you could
anything
say
can
that about
happen
anything.
here,
Better
but I
team's a
don't
better
see
team, but
anything can happen. But I don't see OSP coming out here and having the performance of his fucking life. I really don't.
I don't either. Against a guy who's up and coming, the African Savage.
Yeah, he's got like I said, a huge height advantage, 6'5". He's got a 2-inch reach advantage. Yeah, I just think he's the bigger guy too. He's fucking massive himself. He's gonna knock this
Yep.
guy out.
I'm looking forward to see the guys in the weigh-ins. All of them, for that matter, not just this one, but this one specifically.
I agree.
Plus that Davis fight. That's the other one. Anyways,
Guess we got the co-main event up next. Brian Battle versus Ange Losa, the last ninja versus Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear.
10-2 is Brian Battle. 10-3 is Ange Losa. Brian Battle opened at -140. He's now -175. Ange Losa +120. Now +100. I got to go with my guy Pooh Bear here. Has to be done. I think he's on the rise. He only looks better and better. Where I think Ange Losa, he's just going to kind of hang right there in the middle.
Yeah, I'm going to probably end up being on Battle here. He's got a slight height and reach advantage, nothing significant, but he's ranked 35. He's 10-2 as a pro, coming in on a 2-fight win streak. He's 5-1 in the UFC, so he's actually he's stepping it up. He's playing the part against the better fighter. He's got 2 KOs, 2 subs, and 1 decision. I don't know. He's another one, never been KO'd. He's only lost 1 by submission. Lusa, he's 2-1 in the UFC. He's 0-1 in the LFA. He's 0-1 in the Contender Series. I don't know. I think Battle's the better fighter in this one. I do see it going the distance. I don't think Lusa's never been knocked out or never been finished. So
Yeah.
I'm on Battle, or I'm going to be on Battle here more than likely by decision at +150. I actually think he's going to outwork him the entire fight. So another look would be Battle by unanimous decision at +175. I don't know if that 25 points is worth it. So I'm again probably going to jump on Battle by decision at +150.
Yeah. I think that's the way I was looking at it too. This guy's tough. But I like G's look, round 3 or the decision. It's a good way to look at it too. Get both in there. It's not bad at all. I mean, I'd love my guy Brian Battle to get a finish here, but it's a pretty big boy. I mean, look at his neck. I don't think he's going to get a submission. He could maybe armbar or something like that instead, go around that big old neck. But the knockout, I don't know if I see that. This guy's he's tough enough. So yeah, give me Brian Battle by decision too, Jeff. I like
Yep,
it.
I like it. And like I said, I was trying to get cute with it, to find some more money, but unanimous decision, you know what? If that was like -300, 350, you're getting a couple hundred points off of it. Yeah, okay, maybe, but plus 175 by unanimous decision or by decision at plus 150. I'll just take the plus 150. No need
Yeah,
to get
I
greedy on
agree.
that one.
I agree. Hopefully, it doesn't go that way and we get a finish in the main event. That would be cool. Let's see. Bring it up here. This one's going to be good. I hope it's as good as they say it's going to be, Jeff. Big heavyweight one everyone's talking about.
That's a
Someone's
couple
getting finished
heavyweights.
here.
Someone's getting finished.
Over.
I, I actually do think it's so the over 1.5 was minus 145. So they're actually
I see minus 125 now on some
oh,
books.
it's minus 140 again from a same book comparison. The over 1.5 was minus 145. It's now minus 140. So they're saying it's going to be under. They're saying it's going to be, well, public's saying it's going to be under. Somebody's saying it's going to be
Yeah.
under.
The over 1.5 is a pick 'em juiced to the
So,
over,
so
but the under minus 250. Yeah.
uh, I'm on Tybora on this one.
Woo!
Yeah. Well, again, I haven't made any official plays yet, but Tuivasa, he got his ass whooped by Gan, and I think he took a pretty significant beating in that one. And then he came
Yeah.
back out 3 or 4 months later, and I think he got knocked out again. I don't. I guess I'd have to, again. I'm going to look back at some of the tape on this stuff, but I think he's taken some pretty. Yeah, there you go, three
He
in a row.
did. Yeah. Sergey Pavlovich.
Oh, three. Oh, he got
That was
choked.
a
So,
bad knockout.
yep. So I don't know. Yeah, and again, they're gone in the third round. He took from what I recall, and again, I watch it back, but I think he took a severe beating in that one. And I don't
Do
know.
you think Marcin Tybura would go 3 rounds with Cyril Gane?
Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Fortunately, we're not betting on that one.
What up? Daddy Cab in the house. What up? What up?
What up, Debbie? Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm on Tiberius on this one. Let me see what that line shift. I saw him at minus 105, and he's minus 110 now.
Yeah, it is.
Tuivasa is minus 120, so there hasn't been much of a 5 point shift on that one. But I don't know, nothing significant enough. But I like Tabora by KO or sub. KO is plus 265. By sub is plus 400. I don't necessarily think he's going to sub him, but fight ends in round 2, 3, or 4. Fight ends in round 2 plus 800. Round 3 plus 1200. Round 4 plus 2500. I don't see it ending in round 4, but if you're looking for some juicy spots, there's some pretty good plus money out there for you. But
yeah.
gee, I don't know if you were listening, or at least what I was saying there. Gon whooped him up. Gon whooped him up, and then he got knocked out, and then he got choked out. I think it was in his last fight. So I don't know. He's become another punching bag of the heavyweight division, and anything could happen in these heavyweight fights, which makes them exciting. But I think it's five round fight. It's going to be a slow start off the get go, and I think Tybura, like I said, I like round 2, maybe round 3. We'll see what happens, but I think these boys are going to come out slow, maybe some leg kicks, feeling out the range, and then going for the fences.
Don't mind it. I mean, Tai Tuivasa by KO is plus 110. I'm just going to stick with the money line. I put them together with my guy last week, Sean O'Malley and Tai Tuivasa. So let's go on that. And then the parlay I said I had ready. Jeff, going back to the Brian Barberena fight. Brian Bam Bam Barberena and Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa. The Bam Bam parlay, baby. We're fucking doing it. How do you not? How do you not fucking do it?
You got to at least make a play at it.
I mean, gamble responsibly, manage your bankroll, but I am putting 1 unit on the Bam Bam parlay. Has to be done.
Yep, I'll probably end up playing that for fun.
It's so selling, isn't it?
It really is. Mike and I always talk about like the whether it be the Philly, Buffalo, the Bills, the Sabre, the same city parlays, especially when you get into hockey, football, and baseball. Hell yeah.
And I think it's viable too. Either guy could win, and at plus 400, that's where we're at, boys. So hopefully we can get that. The old wham, bam, thank you, bam. That's it,
Gee,
G.
appreciate you joining us, my man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope he gets that KO. I don't mind Marcin Tybura. I don't think he gets smashed here. But I think if he can't land the takedowns, the striking on the feet, Tai Tuivasa is a little more technical, and he actually does have a high level fight IQ. He's done some, like against Cyril Gahn, he played possum, pretended to get rocked, and then came back with one. Just little like street fight kind of dirty tricks like that he's got up his sleeve. I think he might be able to pull one off. And we want to see him jump up on the fence and do that fucking shoey.
Yeah, some crazy shit. Something to make it exciting.
I love it when he does the shoey.
Yeah.
Slams the beer. He catches it every time right on the fence. Incredible. But yeah, I definitely don't see this one going further than 3 rounds. So I might get to Tai Tuivasa in round 2 or 3 as a little sprinkle also.
Yeah, I like it.
Anything else on that fight?
No, I think I don't know. I get a lot of gibberish, but no, ultimately, I said my piece.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to see the weigh-ins. I want to see the line shifts. I want to see what comes out of this. But yeah, like I said, I'm on Tybura here, or I'm going to be more than likely. So we'll see. Make some of this shit official tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
When I jump on Mike's show, and then we're gonna roll the live stream Saturday during the fight. So
Hell yeah. We might have a last look at it. Do another show here on Friday or Saturday since these fights are later. So yeah, might have another last look at it here. That'll be here on Who-Bangin Sports Friday or Saturday. Follow me on Twitter at MedDillon to find out about that. Other than that, thank you for being here. Dabby Cab, G, all the boys. Let's fucking go. See you next time.